Ladies and gentlemen, we back with another episode of You Already Know What It Is, Roll the Dice with CC. As always, I'm your host. And this week's episode is back to playoff basketball. I didn't drop one last week, but we back now. So this last week, a lot of great things have happened in the NBA playoff world. We had two first round sweeps. Lakers got sent home again by the Nuggets. Celtics advance. And if you watch this tomorrow, there will be two games, do or die, and that's the Clippers and Mavericks game. Mavericks send them home in 6, or Clippers can push it to 7, and the Cavs and Magic can push it to 7, or the Cavs can send them home. And tonight's games, we had the Pacers and Bucks. Obviously, the Pacers beat the Bucks and sent them home without Giannis or Dame. Well, actually, Dame played without Giannis. He didn't play at all this whole series. And right now, it's halftime for the Knicks and Sixers. Sixers are up thanks to a crazy second quarter from Buddy Hield. He was on fire from deep. But let's get right into the series that I've already concluded. So first off, I'm going to start with the series that had a lot of, I'm not going to say controversy, but it had a lot of talking points and chatter, and that was the Timberwolves and Suns series. Now, for that series, it's funny because everybody was saying, oh, from last year, I don't know why people do that. They bring in last year's context into the current year's context, but it is what it is. But everybody's saying last year, oh, the Suns took 2 games off of the Nuggets, so they should be able to do something similar with this Timberwolves team. But the problem with that is, it's like they don't have the same personnel. Like, Jokic is an offensive juggernaut, but Gobert does not play the same way Jokic plays. And, like, the matchups just were not there for the Suns. I said the Timberwolves would win in a comfortable 6, but it was legit a comfortable 4. Now, granted, Devin Booker and KD both had 30-plus points. Book had 49, KD had 33, but the Timberwolves made them work for those buckets, and Bradley Beal had a whopping 9 points of 4 for 13 shooting. He was just stinking it up. Not even just the last game, game 4, but pretty much all series. Like, they had that man in hell. But yeah, the Timberwolves, they sent them packing in 4 games, got a clean sweep. Ant dropped 40 game 4, so he went out with a statement. And for the first round, he was averaging something like 35 or maybe a little bit less than that on some pretty solid splits. So he did his thing. And one of the the quotes from the series was, "I'm here now." He was saying, like, chatter to KD after he had hit a tough bucket on her or something like that. But yeah, I'm not going to stay too much on this series because it was a sweep. I'll move on to another sweep, which was Pelicans against the Thunder. The Thunder swept them as well. Zion didn't play at all the series. Now, if Zion played, I believe it would have went to 5, at least 6, because even though Chet is a force on the interior, he doesn't have the muscle to deal with Zion. Well, relatively nobody on the Thunder does, but that was kind of a blessing in disguise because they really had no threat from the Pelicans on the interior because there was no Zion. Brandon Ingram, talk about somebody who was playing like garbage. I don't think he had a 15-point game that entire series. Like, he was absolute trash. And then CJ McCollum, outside of his play-in disaster class, he had some solid contributions throughout the series, but it wasn't nothing too crazy because the Thunder were in no real danger of losing this series. Maybe one game, I want to say it was like game 3, but other than that, like, they had comfortable leads in the other 3 games. But yeah, moving on, to the Lakers and Nuggets series. Like I said, that series is going 5. Sorry to any Lakers fan watching this. I told you it wasn't going to be a sweep, but they weren't going to go past getting a game off the Nuggets. Now, that series was actually mad funny because, for one, like the Lakers had a lead in pretty much every game. And like that 20-point lead they had in game 4, that was just actually no, it was game 3. That 20-point lead they had in game 3, that was just terrible. Like they had the Nuggets right where they wanted them, but they just couldn't close it out. And then the Nuggets came away, and Jamal Murray hit that game winner on AD, and it's it's hilarious even more to another point that he hit another game winner game 5 to send them home. So it's like he didn't have a great series, but when it mattered most, he came through and he ended up prevailing. So that's the end of that series. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, obviously the Celtics, I had us winning in 5. It should have been 4, but the crazy shooter night from the Heat game 2, like if a team does that, you're not going to win. I mean, I'm not going to say you're not going to win a game, but it's kind of hard to, compete with that. Like you can shoot as well as you can shoot, but if they're shooting like so far and above the league average, it's like, okay, like you can just throw your hands up and on to the next game. So did it suck we didn't sweep them? Yeah. Especially because Porzingis got hurt, but hopefully we take care of business early in the next round, depending on if we have to play the Cavs or the Magic. I think if we play the Magic, that series goes 5. I would say 4 as well, but I think not having Porzingis might hurt a little bit, even though Al Horford is more than capable of taking over for him. But I feel like they're young. They can, get hot for a game, just like the Heat did. Obviously, they're a well-coached team with Spo, and they have experience, but the only problem is that they just didn't have the talent. Now, the Magic, they have talent, but the shooting isn't really there, even though those kind of rumors are being dispelled in this Cavs series, because it's like the Cavs shot like crap, and then the Magic were starting to hit shots, and then the Magic shot like crap, Cavs hit shots. So they're playing pretty much good home basketball. And it's funny because that series, no team has won a road game yet. So I don't know. If that series goes 7, that bodes well for us, because that way you get another couple of days rest to, check on Porzingis, see how he's rehabbing and whatnot, and hopefully get him back in time for conference finals, if not a little bit before then. But yeah, on to the series that concluded today, Pacers and Bucks. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, seeing as I just talked about it a little bit earlier, but Pacers sent them home in 6. The Bucks really didn't have any answer for them this game, especially their bench, like TJ McConnell and Obi Toppin combined for like 50 points off the bench, and like the Bucks bench had like 5 points or less. It was like just a crazy parity in the numbers and whatnot. But it's like at the end of the day, the Bucks should feel glad that they were able to even get 2 games, because Dame played he played 3 games. He played game 1, 2, then he got hurt, and then he missed 2 games and came back. But Giannis didn't play at all. But Chris Middleton stepped up kind of in that game, I want to say 4. But they still didn't have a guy that can like actually take over a series like Giannis can. And they have some interesting decisions to make because Malik Beasley, Jay Crowder, and some other guys are free agents, but that roster is old. They don't really have many assets, and they are negative in cap space. So it's going to be up to the GM and the owner to, get creative and try to find a way to, prevent this. This is the second consecutive year that they've been bounced in the first round. So they got to find a way to, add talent, but also keep Giannis and Dame together. Because year one, obviously expecting them to mesh and gel together was kind of like, I don't think that was ever going to happen. Like, this is Giannis' team. Then you add a guy like Dame, who's another superstar in his own right. And it's like the games Giannis didn't play, Dame played his best in. But the games Giannis did play, Dame, like, he will put up points, but it will be like crazy inefficient. So it's like, okay, you can say what you want, but that pairing literally did not mesh well. And then the Adrian Griffin firing, who was their previous coach, and then they ended up hiring Doc Rivers. Like, that just made everything 10 times worse. But yeah, for the one playoff series that I can say in the semifinals that the team will actually play that are confirmed, it's Nuggets and Timberwolves. I'm going to go Timberwolves again. This time, it's not going to be an easy 6 because the Nuggets do have Jokic, but I do have the Timberwolves in 6. I think this is the perfect series for Ant to, show everybody. Now, he did show everybody he's here in round 1, but he can kind of get his lick back from last year's playoffs where the Nuggets sent them home in 5. But now he has a year under his belt, he's more prepared, and we'll see him in action sometime over the next couple of weeks as they travel to Denver. I'm trying to think if I missed anything else. Oh yeah. Clippers Mavericks. The Clippers, that game was so bad. Like, obviously Kawhi has been out, and I don't think they're gonna bring him back this series. Because surprisingly, they've won games when he didn't play. So something to just keep an eye on. But that last game, like, it was all bad. But yeah, I think that's all I got for y'all today. Yeah, there's not too much to harp on for NBA playoffs. Obviously, the Knicks and Sixers game is still on, so by the time you guys watch this video, that series might be over, or the Sixers may have pushed it to 7 games. But as always, take a chance, take a gamble. But as long as you roll the dice, we all good. I'm out.